Hello, my name is Chris Harding. I'm a chemical engineer and biological scientist, and I was at Jack Welch Management Institute, where I was an honor student, which is exceeding MBA standards, meaning I had the ability to go on to PhD possibly for a business, but I didn't want to. Harvard was interested in me. Jack Welch Management Institute was interested in me. I'm affiliated in MIT. I'm a friend of John Hopkins. And the reason why I'm telling you this, because I am an ex-NSA CFDI employee, and I was a profiler of pedophiles, and I also was a code reader. The NSA turned their back on me after I profiled many members of corporate America and Congress as pedophiles, and I'm talking about corporate leadership. So I now work playing around with computational fluid dynamics. And I took computational fluid dynamics from supercomputers down to cell and with my mathematical derivations. I'm not lying. And you can actually go to Chris Harding, LinkedIn. You look at my work, and this is succinct work. I actually posted one that's a wake bubble, and it's a wake bubble on a human body. And I've been told, I don't know if it's true, but AI said that it's common for a wake bubble to be created after a direct numerical simulation, which is the most advanced simulation available. And that takes time. My simulation actually is more efficient, and actually my code is more efficient, and it actually does the derivation of the wake bubble on streamlines in about an hour and 4 minutes. Now, I know a little bit about computational fluid, but I know a lot about calculus. And I'm not as strong in calculus as I was, but I'm afraid of MIT because of my mathematics calculus. And the dean of mathematics had approved me according to the internet. So I don't have a degree. I don't have a micromaster's. I'm a pretty rare person. I have a BS in chemical engineering. So I want people to potentially go to Chris Harding, LinkedIn, and download the documents, or they can also go to GitHub, Happy S5, and look at the actual code and run it on their computer, on their not their computer or their cell phone. I suggest you try the cell phone because the cell phone doesn't get hot, doesn't burn it up. It's very efficient code. The way it works is I morph geometry. I have a sectional sweeping polygon morph integral, and that's what I have. What that is imagine a polygon two-dimensional, and there's normal vectors coming out of the center of gravity of each triangle that fills that polygon. And there's n triangles, and n approaches 0, and that means it takes up the space of the triangle. And they don't go to reach 0, so that means as a triangle approaches 0, more triangles take a position. So right in number of triangles can go to infinity, well, approaches infinity. And what that does, you have normal vectors going in each direction, and those normal vectors morph that polygon to a shape that's really in 3 dimensions. And then that morph polygon will actually sweep out area. This is how I think it works, and this is how I meant for it to be derived, but I haven't been able to visualize it computationally. Sweeps out an area of a sphere or something else. And it's very accurate. My sectional sweeping polygon method had a volume estimation, and without the morphing in normal vectors, estimation of error of 0.00013 or 39, I can't remember. So, and it's very accurate. So the code for this is on at GitHub. I also have Jacobi code. Jacobi is a Jacobi force, and it's another solver. But this is for bluff bodies, and bluff bodies are trucks, cars, airplanes, and stuff like that. So I haven't been able to run it on that because what happened was I have a cell phone. I'm gonna show it to you, and I'm gonna show you this cell phone. See that? That's my cell phone. It's completely black. It's brand new. And I was validating this code, and it takes for workstation validation, simulation workstation validation, is because my cells are 720,000. That's it, and they usually use about 20 to 30 million cells for a workstation. And it sounds ridiculous, but my mathematics compresses the actual need for the cells by at least 4,001. And the NSA doesn't like me because Trump hates me because I profile him as a pedophile because he's a dark personality. He hates my guts. He's going to try to sue me, but what can I do? Because of course, in his pockets and everything else. I did my job, and he's not a nice guy. You look up Guardian, you look up the documentation where it says that President Trump actually tied a child to the bed and molested her. And it's an accusation, but it's in Epstein files. No one talked about it. The FBI didn't do an investigation because the FBI is in his pocket. I contacted U.S. Marshals. The U.S. Marshals told me, Chris, the government's trying to kill you. Why did you contact us? Of course, if you contact them, they'll say, we didn't say that. If I go to court, they'll say, we didn't say it because they are corrupt. FBI is corrupt. We have a problem in this country. So the reason why I went there is because I'm trying to validate my product. And I'm not selling this, but I'm showing I'm intelligent because NSA will say I'm stupid, FBI will say I'm stupid. People will say, there's people in the computational fluid community say he's an idiot and they haven't used my code because they're in the pocket of NSA. Sounds ridiculous, but it's true. So this phone is black and it was validating process and validating product, my computational fluid code that I created with limits, the mathematical variations. I conceptually prompted, and I know I conceptually created the idea of a more polygon, and then I put it in AI, and it gave me more mathematics. Now, there's nothing wrong with that. We use AI for that purpose, and if you believe it's opposite, everybody uses AI now, and what we can do with AI now will give us generational work, several generational work in a succinct, short period of time. We don't have to go to libraries. It's available on AI. It's wonderful. So here's the situation. Please go look at it and contact your center. Say, listen, look at this code, look at these documents, and go to Chris Harding's LinkedIn page, look at his conversations, and do an investigation. Have the U.S. Marshals, FBI do an investigation. Because really the strength is the power in numbers. If we don't have power in numbers, we don't have a country. So people say I'm trying to create a revolution. I'm not trying to do that. But if people rise up and kick Trump out of the office, better off we are. Silent revolution would be great. And we're entitled, if you look at Gemini or ChatGPT, Americans are entitled to a revolution. And we are entitled to that by the Constitution. It's not illegal. So I ask you to look that up. I also ask you to look up a technology. It's called modulated microweapon. Go to Gemini Flash. I went to Gemini Flash. It's modulated microweapon, radio frequency hearing with the head as a receiver, Air Force patent. It'll give you a summary. Read it carefully because it says voices, words can be transmitted to head, and the head is a receiver. This happens from space. I am a born identity. I really am. I'm not lying. I've been doing this for 27 years. What happened was the U.S. government hired me without my knowledge because they knew I was being affected by Apple Laboratories. I blew the whistle on. So they were monitoring me. They're on my computer, over my computer. I was sending them emails. They didn't care. And they said, well, we'll use them because we're getting information. So they took advantage of me tremendously. And then they asked me if I go to work for them. I said, yes. And he said, well, you're undercover. You're going to be paid as an undercover agent, and you're going to get disability pay from the VA. And then Trump reduced my disability pay. And now I have a problem getting the disability pay I'm supposed to get. I am not ill. That was my undercover. Everybody thinks I'm ill, and I'm not. NSA is a sick organization. If you don't believe me, the CIA as well. All you have to do is look up Legacy Ashes at Central Intelligence Agency, and it's a book. If it's available, they may have hidden it now, but or reduce or remove it. But Legacy Ashes, and read that, you'll get an idea about CIA's tactics. It's a disgusting agency. And they told me that Donovan was a pedophile originally. And that's a bad situation if it's true. Because I got news for you. They don't care that children are being molested. And I'll probably be kicked off of YouTube for this, which is bad because we have to talk about this. And that's the reason why it grew. It is gargantuan in size. So I'm not kidding you, it's bad. The National Academy is estimated anywhere between 200,000 or 400,000, I can't remember, to several million. That is horrible. That was in 2013, and they didn't care. There was no urgency whatsoever in determining how many children are being trafficked in our country, and humans and adults. So that's a bad situation. So this is a multifactorial video. It's a long video. I'm begging you to step up and to contact your representatives and your congressional members and the law enforcement and say, help this man, Chris Harding. Look at this video, look at his work on Chris Harding LinkedIn, because he's not stupid. Thank you.